46 is brought to you by Dr. George Leeks, Perum's optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by Assemblyman James Oscarson, the voice for veterans, seniors, and education, now and in the future. The conservative choice, fighting for your rights. Paid by the committee to re-elect James Oscarson. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, a safe surrender for a barricaded suspect.
A candidate is missing some campaign signs.
The Pahrump Arts Council is holding free classes. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Monique Mitchell and Eunette Gentry. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, May 17th, 2016. I'm Zach Reinert, filling in for Monique Mitchell.
And I'm Eunette Gentry for News 46.
A man with a gun held up inside an apartment early this afternoon was taken into custody without incident.
Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a barricaded suspect today on Dandelion Street in the Courtyard Apartments. The male reportedly told his female partner during a domestic dispute that if she called police, he would either harm himself or officers upon arrival. His statements are unclear at this time. Deputies and street crime units responded surrounding building number 3 and evacuated the entire apartment building complex. Residents were told to stay inside their homes in adjacent apartments. The female and children were secured by police shortly after the arrival. Police negotiated with the male via telephone and were able to secure his surrender. He exited the apartment with his hands in the air. He was taken into custody and transported. No injuries have been reported at this time. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
A police chase on the south end of town late this afternoon resulted in at least 2 men being taken into custody. Police attempted to stop a white van, which led police on a pursuit around a dry lake bed and nearby streets. The individuals are alleged suspects in a weapons theft case. The pair also left the vehicle and took off on foot, attempting to evade police, who finally captured them at gunpoint.
As we head into break, here is this week's court report.
In this week's court report, accused animal abuser Nancy Lord was a no-show for court again this morning. But that didn't stop Judge Kent Jasperson and Deputy District Attorney Michael Vieta-Cabell from discussing taking her back into custody and ruling on elements of her controversial case. Now, the embattled attorney, who's facing 8 counts of animal abuse and neglect charges, including being over dog and cat limits and torture and cruelty to animals, has 3 brand new warrants for her arrest. Those new warrants are based on Lord's 3 cases, which had been continued and set for a bench trial in Justice Court this morning. But today, Attorney Vieta-Cabell told Judge Jasperson that Lord called him very late Monday and asked for another continuance. Then Judge Jasperson chimed in, stating that Lord called the court first, claiming she had just found out she had a no-bail warrant that was issued for her arrest because Lord was a no-show for a court appearance on May 2nd. That's when Vieta-Cabell exclaimed that Lord is, quote, like our very own bin Laden, end quote, because of her alleged crimes and her seemingly dodging authorities because Lord's whereabouts are currently unknown. Lord is out on bail because the court says back on April 19th, her attorney, Thomas Gibson, posted bail for her on these 3 cases totaling $4,000. But this morning, Judge Jasperson ruled that now Lord's bail is forfeited. There was even discussion from Vieta Cabell regarding Lord's possible extradition from Florida if she relocated there, as she's been claiming to do. Recently, even more dogs have been taken away from Lord. As part of a previous plea deal, Lord had agreed to relinquish ownership of her scores of dogs to her domestic partner, but he was also arrested. Lord also had proceedings in district court that were scheduled on Tuesday, May 10th, but she was a no-show. Alleged Madam Heidi Fleiss's case was on the court calendar Friday regarding a notice to set a trial date. A motion to suppress was granted, but district court clerks say the state will appeal it. The charges named against Fleiss: opening and/or maintaining a place of unlawful sale and possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. The man accused of armed robbery at the Green Valley Grocery at 51 East Highway 372 got slapped with another charge during his arraignment on Friday. Dominic Arcangelo Cocco is now facing an aiding and abetting charge after he told the state that he did not commit the crime and then supposedly identified the real alleged perpetrator. Cocco was already facing 2 felony charges, including robbery with use of a deadly weapon and burglary while in possession of a firearm, after he was arrested and accused of taking the contents of the store's cash register. The court acknowledged the confusion in this case. Nevertheless, Cocco will remain in custody until this court continues the matter during a status check on May 25th. Also in court on Friday, one of the 2 suspects who pleaded guilty to an armed robbery at Area 51 fireworks last Halloween that injured an employee is finally sentenced. Jacob Ryan Porter received 60 to 150 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections with credit for time served. Porter must also pay restitution in the amount of $267 to the fireworks store and nearly $2,500 for the victim's medical bills. Cassandra Port was also identified as a suspect in that robbery. She was sentenced back on March 25th to 48 to 120 months in prison. This has been your court report. I'm Eunette Gentry for News 46.